Good
Guess
evening, good
who's back?
evening.
Back again. Grutu's back. Yes, we're back at Brands Hatch. Good evening, Desi.
Good evening, Craig. It's good to join you again this week
Guess who's back?
and having
Back
a
again.
rerun of Brands Hatch
Grutu's
after last
back.
week.
Yes, we're
Looks
back
like
at Brands
everybody's
Hatch.
enjoyed
Good
having
evening, Desi.
an extra week's practice. We've seen some times come down. It's going to be an exciting one.
Yeah, it should be good. After a few technical issues last week, we get the joy of doing it again around this fantastic, exciting track. So this is going to be good. This is going to be good. After last week, the racing was exciting. It was tight. So I'm looking forward to this. So this is going to be good. This is going to be good. After last week, the racing was exciting. It was tight.
Yeah, I am really looking forward to this, Craig. I am really looking forward to this. Last week there was a lot of action in the beginning half of the race.
There was. There really was. Now I see in the free practice that some of the boys are getting very close to that 23, breaking 23 into 320 into 23 seconds. So there's some quick times being put down in quali, free practice. So quali should be really, really good. Looking forward to this.
We're just waiting for the qualifying session to begin, guys, and we'll be jumping straight in with the lads.
Apparently, audio is being relayed and
Yeah, I'm just working on it.
working on it. Not a problem. I thought I could hear myself.
Yeah, it looks like because I bought a new headset during the week, guys. So Streamlabs is throwing a little fit about where we are sending the sound. We should have this fixed in the moment for you, and we can get in to the session.
How are we doing tonight, chat? Nice to see some people in there. Gary's got his beers and snacks ready.
How is that, guys? If I turn that back up and we can jump straight in, it looks like the boys are getting into their first outlaps here.
We're off.
We are off into qualifying. On board with Chris Wilson as he starts making his way around towards the finish line here. Few more corners and he'll be on to his hot lap.
He was one of the guys who was very close to breaking into the 23s in free practice, so it'd be interesting to see what times he can lay down.
Yeah, I believe he was pushing 24.2 or 24.3, so he is really knocking on the door of getting into that 23 ground. But he's not the only one. There was 2 or 3 other lads who have definitely made big improvements since last week.
Yeah, some practice has definitely been going in.
As we get into the first of the hot laps here, we'll see what Chris is able to put down.
So he sends it up into Druids. Down the hill into Graham Hill Bend.
Bit of traffic just moving out of way for him. Be very interesting to see where the bar has been set after these first laps. I hope everybody's had a good start to their week in chat. Everybody's had a good start and enjoyed their weekend.
For some, it was a particularly interesting weekend. In Sim Seniors entering their first 6-hour event on Saturday.
Yeah, there was some really good racing, some really good results from the boys in that endurance race. They really pushed themselves, and it seems it was their first one. They did really well. Here we come towards the line. We're going to see where Chris sets the bar for these qualifying laps. Taking that pole for a ride.
It crosses the line.
A 26.0. So
he'll still be getting those pressures up. It will take a couple of laps as we know, for the heat to get into the tyres, the pressures to get where they need be. That's better around Druids this time than the first time. He's already half a second up from where the last lap.
The first couple laps on new tyres are always a bit, don't quite have the grip you'd expect because they have that shiny patina on them and you have to wear through that to get to the rubber. So the first lap or two, it can be a little more icy than you would think it would be.
He's pushing now those 6/10 up.
Martin Bailey has pushed a half a second in front of Chris to take that pole so far.
Yeah. Angelo in the Porsche.
Yeah, as soon as Chris comes
up, there's some times being pushed now. Ian Roke is half a second up. This is going to be interesting now as they start coming across the line.
Chris looks like he's going to push this maybe a whole second faster than his previous best.
He's really flying as he comes around that last corner.
1.2. He's going to drop it into the 24 straight away with a 24.7. We're going to jump across to Roger. This means he's coming towards the line.
He comes across the line.
That's going to get him fourth with a 26 flat. He's going to be happy about that for a starting position so far in qualifying.
Angelo is 1.1 seconds up in the pulse as he comes down under the bridge down towards the last corner.
Clark's curve is a tricky one. The car, you don't feel the front tyres as you go over the hill.
He crosses the line, pushes him up to fourth with a 25.5.
That's definitely a good lap from him. We're starting to see these times really start to come down now. We've got Glenn Parkinson's, who is also on quite a bit of a flyer right now with 6/10 up, only coming through the middle sector of the track.
Everybody's green at the moment.
Everybody is pushing the times. We're going to see these drop down.
To Glenn as he takes it round.
Using all of the track and that little bit of concrete runoff there.
Up the hill. Around the tricky blind right-hander.
Keeping it nice and tight. Oh, a little tank slapper. Getting a little squirrely out there. That's going to cost him a bit of time.
Round the last bend. Bit of Tokyo drift. Just lost time going around those last couple of corners though.
And that's going to keep him in 18th right now. Brian Banks is also coming towards the line at 7/10 up. This could make a big jump for him in position so far.
Yeah, it's currently on a 27.5. Takes him up to 12th.
With a 26.8. That's not bad at all. That's not bad at all.
So I think there's a little bit of change of order towards the top there because I see that Bailey's have gone up into third. The timing table's just moved, so I can't quite see. So we've got Chris Wilson on pole, Steve Howe second, currently on a 24.8, and Martin Bailey on a 25.5 in third, who is currently up. They're both up.
That's quite a big gap between the first and second boys and the third boys of almost a whole second there. So there's definitely some time to be gained and some space up the front there for sneak in and get a nice starting position now if they can get the laps in. Oh, he's coming up on a bit of traffic.
Really pushing as well.
Is this going to affect his lap time here? Oh, the Aston Martin's bailed out of it, so he's going to have a free run here towards the end.
Lost just a couple of tenths though.
Chris Wilson has just put a 24.5 down and is raising the bar each lap at the moment that he's going around. Steve is going to be wondering, where can I get this extra time? Where can I find them 0.3 of a second to take that pole away from Chris?
I think he's opted for a new set of tyres
here. Got Neil Mellon here in 8th on the grid at the moment. He's 1/10 up, coming through Sector 2 into Sector 3.
Alex North.
Is ahead of him. Alex North is also trying to push that bar ahead. They're almost identical times between Alex and Neil here. Talking 0.03 of a second between them at the moment.
Alex is 7 tenths up now. He's really pushing.
This could put Alex up into the top 3 at the moment.
As Neil comes around the last corner, he's half a second up. Just lost just a little bit around the last bend.
He's going to be a little bit frustrated with that and try and get around again to gain that time he lost in the last couple sectors.
Alex is 0.8 up now.
He's got 2 more corners to go here in the McLaren. Oh, he is pushing through there.
Time.
See the McLaren just using all the slip angle of the tyres there to get around that corner.
It might be able to get a bit of a toe off the Beamer in front of him as well. As he heads down towards the last bend. He's lost just a couple of tenths.
Up at the front, Steve Howes has almost matched Chris's time exactly. That's 0.04 between them.
Alex jumps up to 3rd for 25.2. Great lap.
Good lap to get that up there that high. He's going to be happy about that. It is getting closer at the top between the 1st and the 3rd, 4th and 5th and 6th. There's only, well, from 3rd all the way down to 10th, there's only 4 tenths in it.
Yes, very, very, very close.
Jump on with, he's just cashed it in. Hopkins had just put in a lap. I was going to jump on with him. We've got Flack. Flack is up here through the middle sector in the Aston Martin. 8 tenths, this could be a big jump. Could be a very big jump for him.
Oh, there's no car sounds apparently.
I can turn them up, guys. Let me see if that should have solved the problem. You should be able to hear the cars. Comes round Clark's corner towards the line, 8 tenths up. A 26.2 is going to take him all the way up to almost 10th. I think it's going to land him in 15th. 15th, only by 0.05 of a second to Gary.
Corello is half a second up, currently in 7th.
The guys at the front are really pushing these times now. See, Chris is still trying to improve on that lap. And that's pushed Angelo up to 3rd with a 24.8. He's also broken into the 24s, pushing Alex down to 4th.
So that's the top 3 now into the 24s, and only 3 tenths splitting the top 3.
Got Paul Wallace here. Bit squiggly there. He's gonna have to try again round to the next lap, and hopefully he can bring that time down. We've got Deej Watts, who's coming up to the final corner, 5 tenths up on his time, with a 26.7.
And he's still gaining time around that last corner as well. He's taking it very well. 6 tenths up.
That's going to take him to 14th. We've got Keith Moore, who is... Where has he gone? He's just literally put in a time that's taken him up to 10th.
Well done, Keith. Keith is our expert livery designer. Designed the Sim Seniors liveries for the endurance race at the weekend. Top man.
Here comes Alex, who's pushing. He's going to take this 3rd spot from Angelo.
Oh, into the 24s, 24.6. Cracking lap by Alex.
But we do have Angelo, who is going purple for himself, but he's lost a bit of time coming over towards the back. He was going to take it back. It looks like he's going to stay where he is.
Yeah, it was unlucky. He was pushing really, really hard.
These guys are really trying to get them times down. They're fighting over them top spots. There's only 3 tenths between 1st and 4th at the moment. Somebody who's out. We've got Christian Sullivan putting some laps in the Audi. He's done a 26.9 so far. That's not a bad time. He'll be looking to get it down.
Yeah.
as we are coming into the final stages here. We're going to have people maybe being able to get an out lap, and then we'll be on to the final flying laps. We've got...
Going to make for an exciting last 30 seconds, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be a really spicy end to qualifying. We got Phil Giles up in 5th, who's 2 tenths up after the first corner. He'll be looking to try and get into them 24s with the top 4 guys.
3 tenths up at the moment.
There's still only 600ths or 700ths between Chris Wilson and Steve Howes at the front here. Like, it's only going to take it half a tenth or not even to pull them off, as they're both going green now.
Yeah, Stevie's really pushed it.
He's really pushing it. He's
4 tenths up.
Or a little bit of curb there is going to slow him down this straight. It's going to be painful seeing the Delta just drip away from him there.
Chris is pushing as well. He's just trying to find the couple of tenths on that Delta. He's 3 tenths up now on what's going to be his last qualifying lap.
These two are really battling it out for this top spot. Both 2 tenths up. This could go down to a hair.
Can it get any closer?
It can't get. I don't think it could get closer.
He's 3 tenths up now.
It looks like Steve has made an error in the final sector that's lost him that little bit of time, unfortunately. So Chris is going to get a free shot here to push that bar just out of reach. It looks like Steve didn't make the line for the next hot lap. So he'll be finished there with that time of a 24.5.
As Chris comes across the line, he's already on pole anyway. Looks like he's going to do exactly the same time as what he posted before. Just shaves it a little bit more. 24.465.
Conrad
Chris Payne on pole.
is looking at maybe making a little bit of a position move here towards the line. This might gain him a spot or 2. Yeah, it does. It gets him
19th.
Yeah, 19th. He'll be pleased with that. I think the last person we have going around is Brian Banks as he's coming towards the line. And it looks like he stays where he is at 20th. Oh.
So we have our grid, ladies and gentlemen.
We have our grid. That was an exciting qualifying session. That was very close between the top 5 there. I don't think last week when we had the race that was rescheduled, I don't think we had so many people in the 24s. We are top 5 in the 24s, 6th is a 25 flat. There's a big difference of what the extra week of practice for these guys has made. You can clearly see that it has done wonders for some people.
That practice server has been buzzing over the week. I've seen lots of people in there, so they've been definitely grinding them laps out, which is definitely paid off for some of them here. So this is going to be an interesting start with so many close together. This is going to be a very, very interesting first lap.
So we've got Chris Wilson on pole, Steve Howes 2nd, Alex North 3rd, Martin Bailey 4th, Angelo Corello 5th, Bill Giles 6th, Neil Mellon 7th, Paul Murray 8th, Carl Aliban 9th, Keith Moore 10th, Paul Wallace 11th, Roger Dismukes 12th, Bruce Hopkins 13th, Andrew McKillpop is 14th, Deej Watts in 15th, Gary Broadbent in 16th, Anthony Flack in 17th, Ian Roke in 18th, Conrad Payne in 19th, Brian Banks 20th, Glenn Parkinson's 21st, Christian Sullivan 22, Gary Mitchell in 23rd, Simon Bushell in 24th, Trevor Evans in 25th, David Center in 26th, 27 Chris Lockhart, and that makes our starting grid for today, guys.
A great turnout tonight.
Yeah,
great turnout. This is going to be a cracking race.
I'm really looking forward to this. We're just waiting for the cars to make the grid for their formation lap, and as soon as we are on board with them, speak of the devil, we are just waiting for the session to start, guys. It will be interesting to see if Chris will be able to hold that lead against Steve, because they are matching times. I think we're going to be in for a great battle at the front of the pack.
Yeah, it's a tricky first corner as well, isn't it? Paddock Hill bend, and then up the hill to Druids. So it's not the easiest of T1s. You can go side by side round there as long as you're both giving each other the right amount of room. But it's so easy if you get a couple of wheels. If you're out on the left-hand side and you get a couple of wheels in that gravel, this can really, really slow you down. So it's going to be really interesting to see how close they was. Yeah,
all about having patience at Brands Hatch in the first two corners, because it's not a very wide track. There's no need to go free wide into the second corner. You have to sort of control it because the space is there. It can be there on the outside, but you got to think, will it be there by the time you are exiting the corner? Or could you get run out onto the grass and the rumble? It's a risky move. It does pay off though.
It is a risky move. That reminds me of last Monday, actually, in the Group 1 with a certain Chris Mansell going around the outside in his Audi and not quite making it. I believe you was door to door with him, mate.
Yeah, he fully sent it. I think it was a bit of my fault. He sent it so hard. I was so focused on him. I missed my apex. I was scared of this Audi that was absolutely sending it. So here we go, guys. We're going to be joining the grid here for the formation lap.
You can feel the concentration.
This is where the adrenaline starts going.
Yeah. Last second checks going on just to make sure they've got enough fuels. They're off for their warm-up lap. Making sure they get enough heat into the brakes. Get the tyre pressures up to as close as possible.
You can see all of them leaving plenty of space so they can brake hard and accelerate hard and get that car up to working temperature, because these machines are so finicky. They are great machines, but they have to be in the right window, and if they're not in the right window, it can be a struggle.
Yeah, really can. This is going to be interesting. So McLaren, BMW, McLaren, Ferrari, Porsche.
Yeah, it's
top 5 cars. Yeah, it's going to be the different braking zones for the cars.
And the Porsche is quite the favourite in the third sector over the last corner. The Porsche takes that very differently and maintains a lot of speed compared to the other cars. It's very difficult to pass down here, but if you can get that draft down the home straight and throw it in the inside into turn 1, it's one of the best places to get it done here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's still a risky place to overtake because of the way that camber falls away. I prefer to stay behind the car and then take it down the inside of the hairpin at Druids. I feel that's personally is a safer option.
There's not many safe options here, to be honest with you folks. It's
you've
quite
got to
tough.
take your chance when it appears really at Brands Hatch, haven't you? There's not really any places that are 100% overtaking places. Such a tight, fast circuit.
We'll start to see the cars group up now down this straight as they all start to abide by their delta that they have. They want to be making sure they stay in the correct position and don't speed. It's a very easy way to pick up a penalty at the start.
So there's a head down clearways towards Clark Curve, the last corner. They want to get themselves bunched up in the right positions last second now. Alex needs to close that gap up a little bit. They're just a little bit spread out from where they probably like to be.
It looks like Chris has done a great job of his starting procedure with the space he's got. He doesn't look like he's going to be challenged into turn one. Here we go green.
We're off.
It looks like the BMW has got the better jump on him as they head down into turn one. Oh, that was close. That was so close, but he managed to make it do round the outside of turn one. As we see now, a lot of the cars making it through the first corner as we go into the hairpin.
They threw it into the hairpin. Looks like they've made it through. There's a couple of taps. I don't know if they've gone off, but he all seems to have come through quite
well. They seem to be coming through quite well. Martin Bailey is pushing the gap here behind the Porsche. He wants... Well, it looks like Phil Jarvis has made a position on the Ferrari, because that is not how they started. And Angelo Corello has dropped down a position. So the Ferrari is trying to make up spaces here right at the beginning of the race. Steve Howes is running away from Chris. Whether that overtake at the first has given Chris a bit of a shake. He'll want to take a deep breath and get his head back down and make sure that BMW doesn't run off into the sunset.
Martin following Phil as close as he can. Pulls right up behind Alex in the McLaren now as they come down to the last corner of the first lap.
Angelo Corello is trying to get the position back here on Alex as they come through. Everybody's sort of finding their position. We're starting to see the pack split up a little as they find their space to be comfortable and just get their heads down and get the laps in.
Yeah, they're quite spread out now, so it's a clean start from everybody as they're going up round Druids.
Carl Aliban having a look at the back of the Audi of Roger.
Yep, the lizard livery of Roger there and the pink McLaren. He's looking down the inside.
He's got the run on him. Is he going to make it work?
He's got the space. Roger's gone a little bit wide. This side by side.
Oh,
his head down the back straight.
Going to be a race down the straight. The Audi is so fast.
Yeah, he's got the gap on him, but can he stick in the toe? Hard on the brakes, chuck it down to third round the right-hander. He escaped for this lap, I think, as Roger, but if he can stay that close to him, look at how close he's going through the bends there. Really good racing.
It shows. Oh, he's gone. He's gone. He went straight.
Commentator's curse. I do apologise.
It looks like he saved it from the wall, though, so it doesn't look like he's picked up any damage. He's going to rejoin down to 11th now. He's going to be absolutely gutted about that. Steve Howes has just put in the fastest lap of the race so far of a 25.4, so he is pushing the gap on Chris up to 3.4 seconds now.
3.4 seconds after 2 laps. There's a cracking start from Steve in the Beamer. Now Colin is getting smothered by Chris Lockhart's.
There's a bit of it. He's turned the Aston around, and I think he's going to park it. It looks like he's parked it.
Looks like he's taken quite a bit of damage there. It's unlucky.
That is unlucky for him. It's such a hard braking area. The shadow from the bridge changes, so you can't use that as a reference point. You think the hill would kill some of your speed, but as you crest that hill, the front wheels aren't really touching the floor, and you're not getting as much braking power as you think you might get. As you can see now, Chris Lockhart is now being sniffed out by the other McLaren of Andrew behind him.
Has Steve made a little mistake up at the front there, because as Chris put the hammer down, because he's cut that gap down to just over 2 seconds now, so he's gained over a second on him.
It looks like Steve has had a bad lap. He did a 27.8 last lap, so he might have had a little mistake or a little error there, and Chris is putting in consistent mid-26s at the moment.
The McLaren, the Porsche and the Ferrari really close to each other in second, third and fourth.
Martin Bailey is still putting pressure on Phil here to try and take that podium spot away from him.
Now, if he can if he can sit in the toe of that Porsche down this back straight, that Ferrari should out sprint him. All three of them took the corner well, but the Porsche's got a toe off the McLaren. The Ferrari's got a toe off the Porsche.
I think the Porsche is being saved a little bit by the McLaren in front of him with the little pull down the straight. He'll be very grateful for that.
Steve has put the hammer down out in front again because he's increased that lead now back to 3.1 seconds.
We've got Bruce Hopkins now in the Bentley having another little sniff at Roger. Roger's been under attack so far twice now in this race. The first time the driver behind him couldn't quite follow as close and made the mistake, but how will the Bentley handle it?
Be interesting to watch. From experience, I know Roger is very good at defending. He's very aware of what's going on in his mirrors, so he's not an easy person to get past, and as we know, this is not an easy track to pass on, so we'll keep an eye on that.
Bill is having a look up the inside here of the McLaren. Are they going to leave each other room? Door.
He sneaks through, but he runs wide a little bit. The McLaren goes back down the inside.
Oh, they're rubbing. They managed to keep it together.
Is racing.
The Ferrari has Martin he's trying to make the move. He's really desperate.
Alex is looking to make a move down the inside of the Ferrari. This is great.
Alex has made it stick.
He's in the toe of the Porsche now as well. This is really great racing. Boring a chain now. The Ferrari looking down the inside of Alex in the McLaren. Hasn't quite got the legs for it though. Brilliant stuff.
Oh, that is I can't believe that they do come around that corner at 170 k's. That is, it is honestly a shocker how fast you come through that corner.
The Ferrari's looking at the McLaren, still sticking to Alex's bumper. Alex, Angelo in the Porsche has just dropped off just a little bit.
He's going to be frustrated. This is what happens when you're in such a big pack like that. Somebody makes a move and you try and make a chance of them making a move, and you can end up moving backwards by...
Yeah, easily done.
By accident. Oh, Phil is really starting to put the pressure on Colin, Chris. He's really starting to put the pressure on Chris.
Brown Druids, downhill, Graham Hill bends. Is he going to get close enough to make a move down the back end of the track? He needs to stick close to the McLaren as they go round this left.
We've got another little bit of a train.
He's close.
We've got another little train forming with down here with Ian Rowe. We've got Ian, Andrew, Paul Murray and Paul Wallace and Conrad all fighting for this top 10 spot here.
This is going to be interesting to go down the back straight. They're almost side by side. So you've got three McLarens there. The Wacky Racers one.
Oh, it is getting close as they're side by side into here.
Who's going to give first as they go down to the right-hander?
Oh, there's a little bit of contact.
They're all through though.
All through. It looks like the Wacky Racers car took a little bit of a touch there, and this is a tight battle for 10th up here.
Three McLarens in a row chasing that BMW.
We're looking at a train of 6 cars here, guys.
Yeah, that little battle has brought Conrad in the Honda, who was very close anyway, but it's brought Brian Banks into to the fold as well in the Audi. If he can latch onto the back of that, get himself pulled along by the toe of the Honda, as they all head round paddock up towards Druids.
Steve has put in a first 24 of the race. He's done a 24.9, so he is really pushing that gap. He is not slowing down to let Chris catch up. He is foot to the gas.
So here we go again. This is going to be the drag race. McLaren looking down the inside of the BMW.
Thinks better of it.
Yeah.
Or a little bit of touch of the dirt there. That's going to leave him vulnerable to the McLaren behind him. He's not going to have the top speed coming down here. Oh, It's so hard to get that pass here. It is so hard.
It is so tempting to throw it down the inside, but if you get it wrong, it's not just going to ruin your race, it's going to ruin the other driver's race as well. So picking the right place to pass is not easy here, especially in the heat of battle.
There's not many places where you can safely send it here and have an out option of where am I going to put the car if this doesn't go right. There is not a lot of places where you have options here. You really have to commit to making the pass.
Over the start, finish straight to start lap 8. Down to paddock. It's getting very close there again.
Absolutely.
Is he going to throw it down the inside into Druids? Closing the door, but they're very close. That BMW, they bunch up again.
The wacky racing car almost made it happen there. Almost made the advantage of him running wide and deep into the hairpin.
So Paul Wallace, is he going to be able to stick it? No, Murray's on the bumper of that BMW now. He's getting closer and closer lap by lap.
Oh, he's going to have a look.
He's going to make a move.
It looks like
he's looking for the inside.
He's got it. The BMW's given it.
Stick. The second McLaren's going through as well. Great racing. He's cleanly through. That's both McLaren's. Three McLaren's past the BMW
we saw the wacky racing car come making the position as well. So now the McLarens have broke free from behind that BMW, and the battle still continues here.
Great bumper to bumper racing, swapping places all the time. Then McLaren's just pulling each other along.
It really looks
like... Have we lost one?
No, he's pulled away. He's pulled away. Gapped. He has been released and he's got his foot down and he's gone. We've got Gary Broadbent at the back of this pack.
Went round paddock there.
You can see now they've been battling for so long. Cars behind them are starting to join in now as well. One car's broken out free, but it looks like two more have been backed up into the pack. It keeps getting spicier here in the midfield.
Yeah, these cars are really catching up and bunching up now. Last thing you want to do if you're Mr. Roke in that BMW is let anyone else pass, but the Honda's challenging him now as well, and he's passed him. But Audi's going to make a move down the inside.
He's looking about it.
He's backed out of that, which is probably just a sensible option now. Just sticking his toe, wait for the right moment.
It looks like the BMW run a little wide there coming down here. He could be under attack from behind here. He's going to be a little bit more careful of letting the positions go. The first position he let go, we just saw a McLaren on the edge there. That is the McLaren that snuck past when he gave the position away. So he's going to feel good about that.
Wide.
Up at the front, it looks like we've had a bit of a change of position here between Martin Bailey and Phil Giles. There's been a bit of an accident. They're both off the track. We're not sure what caused that, guys. But Phil Giles, he's still rejoining. He's dropped down from 3rd down to 8th here.
That's going to sting.
It looks like Alex has made the move on Chris as well there.
He's not looking in good shape, that Porsche, at the moment, because he's under attack from the blue McLaren.
The blue McLaren of Chris Lockhart now trying to have a little sniff of the Porsche.
Someone's gone wide as well, just up ahead.
I think that was Roger the Bentley.
In the Audi.
I believe that was the Bentley.
It was the Bentley, was it? Sorry, Roger.
Yeah. Bruce Hopkins in the Bentley having a little moment there.
So Porsche is all over the back end of that Bentley now. Is he suffering from a bit of damage as he looks to go around the outside? He's taken that very, very well.
He looks like he's got a little bit of damage on the rear, so he may have received a little touch.
Yeah, the McLaren's gone past him as well. So he's dropping back now. Oh, he's into the pits. He's into the pits.
Bruce Hopkins, he's decided to pit. He must have picked up some damage there. As we've still got this battle going down in the top 10 here, towards the top 10.
So we've got
Brian Banks, Chris Sullivan, Gary Broadbent here.
Yellow McLaren running wide up top of Druids as well.
It's so easy to do there. So easy to do.
The two Audis in chase of
Sullivan's,
Ian's BMW. Little touch. He's been knocked off.
He's gone. It looks like he got a little bump there and he's gone. We're waiting to see him rejoin here. He's dropped down to 20th because of that little contact there. He's going to be not too happy about that. Not too happy. We've got Roger this week's at the front here, who's having a look at Angelo.
He's caught right up with Angelo, isn't he?
Yeah, with the incident with the Porsche, it looks like he's now looking possibly at a top 5 finish if he can get the move done.
Angelo's car damaged. This is what we need to know, because
it
Roger's
looks like
having a
the
look.
Back of it is.
He's gone wide. Can he cut nice and tight out in the exit?
He's going to have to be careful here of how he makes the move, because it's going to back him up very quickly into the clutches of Phil and Chris behind him.
Yeah.
And Phil is going to be looking at getting back them positions he lost and move back up into the top 5 and try and recovery drive from the contact it looks like he might have received earlier.
Roger getting the power of that Audi down. Still not close enough to the Porsche to make a move. And we've got the other Porsche and the McLaren in hot pursuit behind. So any mistake by either of these two and they're going to get swallowed up.
Using all the track in the Porsche, all of it, and he runs a little wide. It's a bit bumpy there. The McLaren didn't expect him to be there, but he has got the run on him. As the Audi makes a move,
Audi makes a move around the outside. Roger's going for it.
He's made it work.
But that's brought into play the other Porsche as they go side by side, head down towards Paddock Hill. Roger just gives into the Porsche, so he's lost a position there.
Could he have been a little bit?
The Porsche is making a move on Angelo. As he goes down the inside of Druids, can he make it stick? He's made it stick.
A full send from Phil. That's 2 positions.
And the McLaren has dived down the inside of Roger and his Audi as well now. So Roger's lost 2 places there. Now Angelo is under pressure from the McLaren. Chris Lockhart's McLaren.
They come round here. He's didn't have the greatest exit here. The Audi is gonna reel him in a little bit, because it's a rocket ship down the straights. We've got Sullivan as well. Sullivan now is having a look at the BMW of Ian Roke.
Right, yeah, he's right on the bumper as they come down the back straight.
Oh, it looks like he's carrying a bit of damage on the front end.
It does. But he's very close to that BMW. Is he close enough to make a move? He has a look, sensible watch, and not just quite close enough. But the BMW's run wide. He's managed to keep it on, but he's run wide again. The Audi goes past.
Right, it looks also like Chris.
He's going to lose a couple of positions there as well.
It looks like Chris Lockhart Roger did get a position back on Chris, and he's back up into 7th now. So he is gaining some of the positions he lost back. As we enter now towards the final half of this race with 15 minutes to go, we're going to start to see them getting a bit dicey and pushing. If they can see that car in front of them, they're going to really want to go for it. Chris is having a look. He's having a look.
Now by McLaren. He needs to be right in the toe if he's going to make a move down the straight, because that Audi is quick in a straight line. He's looking, he's in the toe. Don't think he's going to be close enough to make a move here. No. He's sticking to the bumper of that, and that Audi in front of him though.
Steve Howes is still the only person to have put in a 24 so far. Alex has done a 25.2 and Chris is doing a 25.2, so they're doing similar times there up the front.
But
Martin
Steve
Bailey is matching it.
11.5 seconds in front now. He's got a nice comfortable cushion over Alex, who's up into second.
Did have a bit of a slower lap last lap with a 26.8, so maybe he has eaten through them tyres. They might be going away from him here. If he has pushed them all the way through the first half here, he's going to be feeling some differences in the car.
So Chris and his McLaren still hunting down Rogers' Audi. He's getting close.
What's going on with Keith here as he comes through the first corner, as we're starting to see another pack reforming here.
Up round Druids, he's got the Nissan closing in on him as well as he tries to hunt down Paul Wallace's McLaren.
It's very much all to play for here for the between 18th and 12th. One mistake from one of the guys up the front, you're going to be eaten up by absolutely everybody in this train before you can get her around and get her started again.
It looks like this train is getting a little bit closer together as well now. It's just starting to bunch up, so this could get a bit spicy coming towards the end of the race. That Nissan thundering down the back straight. As he chases down Keith's Audi.
It looks like Gary Broadbent made a mistake there, and that's what we were talking about. Is you make a mistake here between 12th and 13th, you are going to drop down so fast. He's fallen down 4 or 5 places. They're down to 18th. He's going to have a lot of work to do to get back through this pack with 12.5 minutes left to go. It has been constant and battling in the midfield here. The top guys have really broken free and found their rhythm and made the space to keep laps in and keep their head down. But here in the midfield, it has been hustle and bustle for the full race period so far.
It really has.
Got Paul Wallace having a look at Ian Roke again here in the McLaren. Roke being defensive and putting on the inside, making it difficult to pick a side. Oh, he's run a little bit wide, which is going to cost him. And McLaren just sneaks through there. Sneaks through. We might see Ian also under attack here from the Audi that was behind him if he's shaken from that mistake. And as you can see, you've got the Nissan creeping in the background. And then just past that, you've got another Aston Martin. It is so close up here. As we see, Chris has made a position
getting close
on Roger at the front.
Keith is all over the back of Ian's BMW now as they head up towards Druids.
It looked like
close enough to make a move.
Looks like he thought better of it than throwing up the inside of turn 1.
They come down towards Graham Hill Bend. Can he get a good run and stick to that bumper down that back straight? Oh, he's made a mistake.
Looks like
Keith has gone.
He's gone, and he's
taken the Nissan with him. I think the Nissan caught him as he spun, and they just caught up each other there.
That was quite a big hit for Gary and Keith. It looks like they've both fallen down quite a bit. Paul Wallace and Ian Rokes have moved up here. We've got Gary Mitchell who's coming to the pits, which means Phil Giles is making a position. Angelo's making a position. Roger, Chris. As the Nissan slowly falls down the pack, these people are going to see their numbers go up. And
yeah. So is Chris trying?
Chris, it looks like he is trying. He did gain 0.3 last lap on Alex in front of him. So
yeah, it looks like he's reading Alex in.
It looks like he's finding his rhythm compared to what he had he had a very good qualifying session. But maybe the tank's starting to run out of fuel, the car's getting lighter, he's starting to enjoy the feel of it. Ooh, a bit of a slide going through there. Big slide. You can really see that the tyres are really starting to affect people now after 25 minutes.
But that gap's down to a second now. They've got a back marker in front of them as well. Can Alex get past the Beamers nice and safely, or is it going to hold him up? He's lost a couple of attempts as he goes up.
Oh,
Chris just lost it a little bit going through paddock. That's going to give Alex a little bit of a buffer again. He's past the back marker.
He's going to want to try and get past that. BMW is carrying a lot of damage, so this might not be a hard pass. He's going to let him have it.
Yeah.
Chris could just see Alex going into that corner at the end of that straight. That is going to be motivating that he didn't break visual sight. He might be able to reel him in the 8 minutes here. If he gets them laps down, he could make it work. You've got Chris and Roger here have traded places multiple times.
Yeah.
And now Chris is trying to get that 7th position back.
It's not going to catch that Audi down the straight though.
Roger has handled a lot of pressure this evening. He has handled it well. He's kept it consistent. He's kept the car out of trouble.
Yeah, he's as I said earlier, he's really good at defending. I know that from personal experience. So he's not going to make it. He's going to make that Audi as wide as possible. He's getting closer around the latter part of this lap. He's lost it. He hit the wall.
He's lost it. That could be bad damage. He's going to want to shake the car off and see. But Roger's now going to go drive off into the sunset.
He's going to be.
Chris is going to take her around and see how she feels by the looks of it, and see. That's a big sigh of relief for Roger. I'm sure he is tired of being under pressure this race.
That wall was very close as well. So when you hit it at that speed, you are going to take a lot of front end damage.
Moving back 2 places, we've got Paul Murray, who's trying to make up a position on Andrew here. Down the home straight.
Down the outside of the wacky races. McLaren makes it stick. Going round paddock.
Oh, but he's gone wide. Andrew's going to take it back into the hairpin up the hill.
So easily done at paddock. You get a couple of wheels on that gravel. It's like hitting the brakes.
See now that it's really starting to fierce up as everybody wants to gain them positions they can in the last. We're moving into the last 6 minutes now.
He's looking down the inside though. As the wacky races run a little bit wide there, but it's nice tight line on the exit. Drag race down the back straight, down towards Hawthorns.
We can see the Honda in the background here. If these guys continue fighting, we could see the Honda of Conrad sneaking up into this battle. 2.5 seconds is not a lot of time.
Looking down the inside.
Oh,
he's made it stick. What a place to make a move.
That is
brave.
Yeah, I don't know how he is sitting in a chair right now with cojones that big.
But no, exactly. But the wacky races, McLaren has gone wide.
Andrew, I think that might have absolutely shaken him. The Honda of Conrad in the right place at the right time to make up a position to gain a top 10 spot here. He's going to be pleased about that. Just keeping it consistent at being in the right place at the right time.
Wonder how much damage the Wacky Racers McLaren has taken from that hit. There's only 5 minutes left in the race, so the last thing in his mind is going to be pitting. So I hope it's not too much damage for him, because he's being caught now from the cars behind. It's going to bring some more of the people behind him back into place. They're going to be chasing down that Honda at top 10. He's hotting up as the McLaren looks down the inside of the BMW.
Oh, he's
going to make it stick. Yep, he's through.
He really let him know that was his corner before they got there. Let him know he was there. But the BMW is going to try down the straight.
He's not got the pace though, but he's going to be later on the brakes than the McLaren.
Look, McLaren is not known for its braking ability.
No. It's definitely not.
Definitely not. Using all the track there, even to the white lines at the edge. That is using all the track like that. You don't want to touch the brakes in a braking zone and have that outside wheel on the grass. Not a place you want it. But they are pushing so hard here in the final. Now 4 minutes. We approach towards the end of the race here.
But Andrew in the Wacky Races McLaren is going to be under pressure. He's being caught by Paul Wallace's McLaren. And then you've got Ian Roke's Beamer in hot pursuit.
Up the front, we can see actually Chris is bringing in Alex here. You could see a real good push from Chris to take that second place coming through.
He's made that time back up, so it's under a second now, so he's really going to put the pressure on these last couple of laps. Half a second now. He's in the slipstream. He's showing his nose down the inside just to let him know he's there as they come round Paddock Hill, down the dip, up towards Druids. Make sure they hit their braking markers spot on. Keep it nice and tight. Down towards Graham Hill. He's getting close. He's pulling it in. Now, can he get close enough to... Oh, bit of a wiggle. He's opened the door up. Can he move down the inside? The door's left open. He's made it stick. A mistake there from Alex has let Chris through.
Chris is going to be so happy about that, but it's not all done yet. He's got to defend this position now for 2.5 minutes.
That's going to be the longest 2.5 minutes of his life, with Alex all over the back of him. He's just starting to put a little bit away. Can Alex put the hammer down in the last part of this lap and set it up for an attack? Going into T1 and up towards Dewey's. He's run a little bit wide though. That's going to slow him down just a little bit. He's kept his foot in though, kept it nice and straight round the last corner. Heading towards the start-finish line. Chris has he's moved out of the... so he doesn't get him in the drag down through Paddock.
This is where it becomes difficult. You're looking mainly at the back of another car.
Is he going to throw it down the inside?
Well, he's not quite close enough.
Kept it nice and tight. It's a great exit from both of them, though.
Steve has been in an absolute league of his own this evening. He has just put down a flawless drive consistently.
18.2 seconds in the lead. It's a great drive for Steve.
Roger also trying to make up a position here in the final moments.
He's all over and he's going to go.
He's gone deep.
He's going for the cutback. Can he make it? All over the back of Angelo's Porsche. Now this is going to be interesting. If he can get the exit right on this left-hander going down towards the back straight, the power of Audi could come into play here. Has he got the slipstream? Is he close enough?
Right, man. Leader is on the final lap. Give it all you can.
So Steve is on the final lap. So he hasn't got much longer to make it stick. He's giving it everything.
Oh, you can see the Porsche was really on the edge there coming through there. That Porsche was working. You could see the suspension and the tyre was leaning through that corner there.
Yep. Roger's not going to be close enough to make a move now. He needs to use that Audi power down the start, finish straight.
I think we're going to jump across to Steve's and we're going to...
Yep, watch his final lap as he brings it home. What a great drive.
What a great drive. The guy
We haven't seen much of him, but because of the distance he's been in front of everybody else.
Got a few blue flags here coming up, but it looks like he's just going to let them have it. He's not going to get involved in it. He's just going to cruise it around to the final bits. I believe what he's got in front of him is Andrew and Flack who were battling, but Andrew looks like he's
the wacky races moved out the way. Didn't want to ruin it for him, which is very nice of him as he comes round the final bend, takes you across the start-finish line. What a drive by Steve Howes.
What a
flawless
drive.
Absolutely flawless. Well done, Steve. That's our race winner, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Chris Howes coming round the final bend.
He managed to make a 4-second gap there at the end against Alex, so he drove his heart out towards the end of that stint. That is a thoroughly earned second
drive.
place.
Yeah, well done.
Alex North crossing the line for third.
Alex wraps up the podium with Martin Bailey in fourth place. Well done, gentlemen. What a race.
Phil coming towards the line.
We've got Phil in his Porsche bringing it home in fifth.
We've got Roger Rogers still trying to make a move here right at the end. This could be a little bit of a race to the line for sixth.
Keep it straight.
Oh.
Well held, Roger. Well saved, mate.
Well held,
brings it home in seventh. Angelo crosses line in sixth with his Porsche, followed closely by Chris Lockhart in his McLaren in eighth. Well done, guys. What a race.
Got Paul Murray, Conrad Payne and Paul Wallace now coming around the last corner to wrap things up here.
So Paul Murray across in ninth, Conrad and his Honda in 10th, Paul in his McLaren in 11th, Ian in his BMW in 12th. There's Paul's McLaren.
And we got Anthony Flack crossing the line now. And I believe that is our finishing order, guys. That is it. What an absolute drive.
Woo.
by Steve. That was an absolute drive.
Definitely worth the extra wait of a week from last week. What a race, guys. Well done. Really good stuff from Group 2 guys tonight. Where are we off to next week, Desi?
Oh, I am not too sure, but I can find that out right now.
Paul Ricard,
Paul Ricard.
Paul
Ricard. We're going to France next week.
We are going to France to spend 15 minutes down a long straight.
It will be interesting to see the battles down that long straight as we see.
It will be.
See the toes and who doesn't want to tow and who maybe a little bit of cheeky bump drafting going on down there.
People do say it's a boring track, but I find it great for wheel-to-wheel racing. So that is next week, ladies and gentlemen. Group 1 on Monday, Group 2 on Tuesday. We'll be back at at Paul Ricard. And congratulations to our podium. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for tonight. Desi, as always, an absolute pleasure being in the box with you.
Yeah, you too, Craig. It's been an absolute blast tonight. I really enjoyed that. Some great racing. The midfield was absolutely nutty. I was really into that.
It was good. It was great. Wheel-to-wheel racing, loved it. Plenty of battles. Looking forward to doing it all again next Tuesday for the Group 2 guys. I will see you then.
We will see you then, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed your stay. And until next week, that's us. Take care, guys.
See you later.